Just to say I love you.
It's KCHW 102.7. Scott Jean in the morning. Special guests in the studio. We got a whole bunch of them. If you're watching on the webcam, you can log on to our KCHW YouTube channel. It's KCHW Tube. Also on our websites at kchw.org and northernlightspublicradio.com. With the Puffin browser, you can watch the video feed. And you want to do that today because we have an outstanding artist in the studio. One of our local artists, Jacqueline Brewer. Thank you, and welcome to the studios, Jacqueline.
Thank you so much.
You bet. And Tim? Morning. All right. So, hold on. We got a problem with Tim. So, Phil, Gene. All right. So, Tim, tell us a little bit about what's happening on this first Thursday around the streets of Chewelah, and then we're going to find out about Jackie's awesome art. And Jackie, I'm very, very sorry. I never stopped in when you had the art studio over there.
That's okay.
And your art, he sent me some text images, is amazing.
Thank you.
It is amazing. So I apologize for not checking it out before.
It's okay. Now you know.
All right. So Tim, what's going on tonight?
So we've got Margosetti is at Chuvino. I feel so bad. There is an artist at Gene Beans.
Okay. It's all right.
Just
the locations are important.
Yes.
Yeah.
Brad Walker at Fired Up Pizza. Yoshiko, a Japanese artist. Amazing. She can kind of do anything. She's at Gather. And then at Wildflower, we have some of Joni Christian's work, some of Jackie's work. And then at Hello Gorgeous has all kinds of photographs by Joni Christian. And then Jackie Brewer at Trails and Gallery.
So Jackie, you got some of your art at two places? Is that what you said?
Yeah.
All right. Well, you got so much art, you had to put it at two different places.
Right.
All right. Very, very nice. All right. So tell us a little bit about, everybody kind of knows you guys around town because Bob's in the back. Can you put up your hand, Bob? Kind of way. Bob Brewer. Bob, your husband has touched so many people in Chewelah.
Yes, he has. Literally.
in a myriad of ways, you know.
Wow.
All positive, though.
That's right.
That's right. All
Yes,
positive.
yes.
All right.
Way to make it sound creepy, then, Scott.
That's what I do.
The healing touch.
That's right. He's got a healing touch.
That's right.
In fact, Bob's even touched me before.
Oh, no.
See, I told you this would be fun.
He's just hiding his face now.
He's getting red. Poor guy. Poor guy.
So give us a little bit of your background. When did you start doing art, and what drew you to that?
Well, I grew up, loving art, and just it's one of those things like any other, someone who loves music or what, it just touches you, and you feel like that's your thing. And so growing up, my parents were always super supportive of me and all my teachers, and so I just, I loved it and did well at it. And then I started having kids early, got married, and traveled a lot, and I just put it down. I just thought, I don't have time for this. I was just focused on family. And so but I'd go visit museums and whatnot, and it always tug at my heart that,
I should be doing more of this.
I should be doing this. Yeah, I can do that. I know I can. And so, my parents would let me, paint my bedroom walls, whatever I want. And I actually took one of my dad's paintings. He was in the military, and he brought a few paintings back from Japan, and I asked him if I could take one of his paintings down that was old. I was like, can I paint over that? Because I wanted a canvas. so he let me, I painted this huge seashell, I think it was. But yeah, anyway, so I just, had put it away for a long time. And then after Bob and I got together, we ended up going down to a family member's funeral. And there was just this beautiful artwork that she had created throughout her life, at her service. And it was just gorgeous. And it just struck me right then. It was like, if I died tomorrow, I wouldn't have produced any artwork. And that would be so sad. So I just went home immediately the next, after the service, went home, ordered art supplies. I had been following this artist, Dreama Toll Perry is her name, loved her work, super vibrant and colorful, and I just said, I'm signing up for a workshop. And she just happened to be over in Langley, and so I booked my workshop, went over, and haven't looked back. sense.
Wow.
So, yeah.
Now, did you take any, probably some art classes along the way? Did you do any schooling or anything? Is it all natural?
Just in school, high school art. My high school art teacher up in Alaska, I was living up there at the time, and he gifted me this huge box of oil paints that at the time I had no idea the value of that. I just was like, ooh, cool, and I took it home. Yeah, I took it home and started just messing around with it, and I really, didn't know what I was doing as far as the materials go, and even before I went to the workshop, I was looking at YouTube videos, and I would, paint with the oils and let it dry, and it would take forever, and then I would do another layer, and it's like, there has to be an easier way or a better way to get the effect that I want. And so that workshop just really made a huge difference and gave me a ton of tools to start practicing on my own. So
I know nothing about art other than I like it, something that I like and that I don't. I know nothing about that world or what's involved in it. I have my art stuff comes through words and pictures and that kind of stuff. And I can't even spell correctly. I have horrible penmanship. I've never been able to do anything like that. But the first time when I saw those text images just on, the little smartphone, I was stunned when I saw your stuff. It was very breathtaking. So kudos.
Thank you.
All right.
Appreciate it.
And now, so how many years has it been since you got to that point where I'm going to do art again?
Well, that was 2012 was when I took my first workshop, and then I came back home and I started just messing around and practicing and, creating new pieces and trying different subject matter and then we actually, I started getting invited to do some shows. Paul's Coffee Shop was my first show, and then at the Civic Center, and then I started getting invited to restaurants and places in Spokane. And
nice.
And Bozzy Gallery at the time took me on, and so I started getting this collection of work going, and Bob had a space at his practice at the building there that we were just using for storage.
And that's where the art studio, I guess, originally opened, right?
Right. That's yeah.
Same spot Tim's in, right?
Yes. We said let's create a studio down here, and then one day Bob's like, hey, why don't we just not just do a studio, but create a gallery so other artists can show their work as well? And I was like, great idea. Let's do it. And so that's where Blue Moose came in, and we started doing shows and inviting people to come in, and did that 24 paintings in 24 hours, and I did a 30 paintings in 30 days, and it just kind of took off from there. And so the public was very supportive, and we had a lot of community come out and really supported the events. And so but then I started losing time for myself to paint, and so Tim had come in, and I had taken on his jewelry and beautiful work. He does amazing work, and but he was looking for a space, and he asked if we knew of any spaces for rent. And in the back of my mind, I was just thinking, yeah, this one, because I want to go paint more, and you can take over the gallery. And he eventually, he thought about it, and he's like, okay, I'll do it. And so. And then at the time I was creating this summer series of floral paintings, and I had this publishing company from San Francisco get a hold of me, and she said, love your work, we'd love to distribute your prints, and would you be interested? So I signed a contract with them for, I think, 6 of my pieces, and those have ended up all over the world. We've had like UK, we've had Wayfair, Joss and Main,
Wow.
Macy's, Pier 1 Imports, and at the time, I really didn't even know where it was going to go. I just said, oh, sure, I was naive. I was like, go
And then
for
all
it.
of a sudden you're a big shot.
And, well, I wouldn't say big shot. I would not say that at all. But
Hey, that's big shot to me. So,
okay, well,
yeah.
for Chihuahua, okay.
That's actually bigger than Chihuahua famous.
No, Alan Stone is famous. I'm just a little artist. Anyways, so.
Who? No.
Anyways, so yeah, I just kept plugging away, and I had a few things come up in my life that put things on hold for a couple of years, and Dad passed away. We had I had cancer. I had these things
Aw.
going on that just took a lot of time out. So I put my brushes down for a little bit, and have just recently picked them back up, and so.
Now you guys have a few kids. Do you still have kids at home?
We have one.
You have one
Yes,
left.
Miss Evie Brewer.
Well, you're going to be
Yes.
painting like crazy, huh?
Yes, yep, exactly.
How many years you got till
Exactly,
you tell you guys are what do they call that? Empty nesters.
Empty nesters. I don't know. Well, she's only one more year. She graduates, and then
all
we'll
right,
see.
all right.
So.
A lot more painting in store for you.
That's right.
All
That's
right,
the plan.
all right, all right.
So, but the idea behind, like the title for my show is "Speaks Without Words," an interpretive connection, and basically, as far as my paintings go, it's that connection that people make with art and how it connects people together. That, you don't have to say anything, and someone can get something from a piece that means something to them. And it was funny because I actually just recently listened to a podcast of Sally Taylor, James Taylor, and Carly Simon's daughter.
Okay.
And she does this huge art exhibit where it's like the telephone game. And she takes, for example, she'll have an artist come in and paint a piece. And then they leave, and then she'll have a musician come in, look at that piece, and then they'll create, and they know nothing about it, but they'll create a song for it. And then she'll have someone else come in and do a dance to it, a dance company. And then it just continues from there. They make teas, and they do scented candles, and they just do all of the different senses playing this telephone game with art. And then at the end, they do this huge exhibit, and they actually then bring in interactive things that people can come in, connect with that exhibit, and then make their own things based on what they're seeing. And she
Wow.
does several of them. Yeah, and I just
It's
think
like a
that's,
domino effect
yes,
almost.
and so cool because that just everybody is connected through art, I think. So yeah, anyway, so I think it would be cool to do something like that around here sometime, but it just
I was
fun.
actually
Yeah, it
talking
would.
with a couple ladies yesterday, in fact, that are trying to create a space where people can come do exactly that.
Oh, interesting.
So
Nice.
here in Chihuahua.
Oh, cool.
So yeah, there's a lot of people thinking that way because Chihuahua's artsy fartsy.
That's right.
Yeah.
Hey,
Very much
wait.
so.
There's gotta be a
I
better-
couldn't say that word.
Yeah, that's because you say it 10 times a day, Gene. That you were banned. I told her she's banned the rest of the week from using that word because she went a little crazy this morning. I'm glad you guys missed it. So let's get Bob up. Bob, come on. So we're going to start off, and we're going to have Bob ready. He's going to change. Tim doesn't like to do Vanna White, so he's going to change
like
the
it.
photos for us. I'm going to transfer the camera, Jackie, and I'd like you to tell us about the first piece that's up. I'm kind of noticed, at least on a couple of them that were on my phone, like one of them had a tree, and this one has an owl. So is that kind of a theme that goes along with your art, animals and nature and that kind of stuff? Do you do a lot of that?
Well, technically, I really don't have a theme. People love the animals. They love the nature landscapes, the scenic. But I'm one of those artists that you will go into my show and you will think there were maybe 3 different artists that produced the show because I just don't feel like I'm stuck on one thing, and I like to experiment and try new things. And so I really, I just don't, this piece actually, I started this as a digital on my iPad, and it was just the owl, and then I had a solid background, and then I took it from that to my canvas, and then I thought, I don't want to say, it was a black background, then it was a yellow background, and I was like, nope, I want forest back there, and so it just evolved as I went along.
Now
So-
you said you started digital on your tablet. What does that mean?
That means I use an Art Rage app is what it's called, and so I'll take a photo and put it on there, and you can actually create the same effect like you're using oil paints. You can pick your brush size, your pressure, your canvas texture, everything, and so it's like producing a paint without paints. And so it's super fun, yeah. So I've
Wow.
actually got some prints. I don't have any here, but at the show, I've got some digital reproductions up there.
Wow.
So, yeah,
Wow.
it's just super fun. And people would think they were an original oil painting put into print.
So do you use that to help you then with the inspiration where you've done the digital thing and you go, wow, this is how it can look like, and then you go paint it?
Yes.
Wow.
Yeah, I've done that a few times now. I just now got this app not too long ago, so I'm experimenting with it, and not all of them have been reproduced into paintings, but it's a great way to say, well, what if it was this color in the background, or what if I changed this up, and then I could go back and do that on the painting without messing up. my
I'm-
canvas.
Cool.
I'm always curious because we've had a lot of artists in now, and a lot of them will take pictures and repaint that picture. Do you ever just do it from inside your head?
Not usually. Once in a while, like this piece, the background, I did that from my head. But most of the time, I either use a photo or I'm looking at the actual object that I want to paint. So.
And I've noticed for artists, when you see stuff like that on TV and it's an art studio and an art class, they all have the same thing to paint and stuff. Is that typical? Are there very many artists? Because I imagine it'd be a really difficult thing to make a picture in your mind and really be able to paint it. Is that a correct?
Yeah, I would say so. But I'm sure there are some out there that do, and.
Because that seems like that'd be just like crazy
it's
hard.
very challenging. Yes, yeah. My
yeah.
grandson is fantastic at that. He's amazing.
Well, then I think it's because their minds haven't been closed in yet by society.
Exactly. And I love children's art. I would love to see more children's art museums because they are so free and imaginative and vibrant and
And we might be able to
real.
get some unique inspiration from those photos.
Exactly.
Like what is out of the mouths of babes and
Exactly,
stuff, right?
yes,
All right.
yeah.
So does this painting have a title?
It's Ulu.
Ulu.
Yes.
All
Yeah,
right.
yeah.
All right.
Tim actually named that one.
All right. Good job, Tim. All right, Bob, you can play Vanna White. How did he get out of work today, Jackie?
Twisted an arm, I guess.
And twisted an arm?
I call him my art pimp because he is my biggest supporter.
Wow. I have a motorhome and camping fetish, so I really like this picture.
Oh, thank you.
So it looks like we have an Airstream
Yep.
or one of those similar type RVs and a very old one, a campfire and a guitar.
Yes, this is one that actually I follow this person on Instagram, and I can't think of their name at the moment, but they're one of those Wonderland accounts that travels the world, and they just have that super cool Airstream. So I messaged them and said, hey, could I paint that? And I actually took a couple of different images that they had and combined them into one because I liked the background of one better. I liked the campfire and the guitar in one. So I kind of melded these
That's
photos
cool.
together. And this was another one that I created digitally first and then said, okay, I have to actually do that one on canvas. And so I painted it as well. So
The impossible thing here to me is like, how in the world did you do the camping lights? They got the party lights around the camper.
Right.
How did you do that? And then, okay, so that's not an Airstream, and I can't remember the brand because I like these old RVs, but it's got the riveted steel all seamed together,
Right.
and you've got that in perfect lines. How do you do that? It seems like impossible to me. It seems impossible because they look perfect. It looks factory.
well, thank you.
Yeah. Wow.
Thank you.
Wow.
Yeah. No, just a lot of practice.
And then I love when you see the piece of art and you can see like the natural perceptions that we would have on our own site. And you've got and this is for people that aren't watching it on the video, that the fire is reflecting off the steel, the reflective steel metal
Right.
from the RV. That's really cool.
Yeah. Thank you. Yeah, that's actually one of my favorite things to do is to paint reflective objects.
Well, me being, somebody who likes to play guitar by a campfire, I was immediately drawn to the guitar sitting in the chair thinking, oh, mine has sat just like that numerous times. It's like, oh, I need to go get something, set it down in the chair exactly like that because you don't want it too far from the fire because then
Right.
it'll get cold.
Right.
And you want to keep it warm so the sound still stays mellow. And it's just, I love that.
What's funny is I've been amazed at it staring at the screen for our video switcher going, wow, that's a cool paint. And I just turned around and looked at it in the room, and I'm like, wow, I'm 10 times more impressed. Wow.
Oh, well, thank you.
So one other question, are you, and maybe you can tell Scott, that's none of your business, but I'm going to guess you're an artist that makes money. on our paintings.
I do, but supplies are expensive too. So
Okay.
so it's a good thing that I have a sugar daddy Bob. He pays the main bills, and I just am having fun.
Keep him working on those muscles,
That's
right?
right.
All right. Go out and hurt yourself. Jackie needs more money for art supplies.
That's right. That's right.
All right. Go ahead and flip us the next one. If you would like to donate to that picture, by the way, I'm right here. All right. All right. We're going fishing.
That's
Tell us about this
right.
photo.
This one is called Taking the Bait. And it was just, I loved the action of it, and that you just don't know if he actually got caught or he got away. And I love painting movement as well. I think it's just super fun. And and this was a really vibrant image, and so yeah, this one, and a lot of people around here love fishing. So,
They do.
yeah.
They do. You think that one will sell tonight?
You know, I've already had someone local before. I had just painted that one, and she said, I want a huge one of that in my house on my wall. So she wants to commission me to
wow.
do that. And
That's cool.
and yeah, and they actually want a mural as well. So
Nice.
that'll be interesting. Yeah.
All right. All right.
Haven't done one of those since high school.
Yeah.
Tim had a
Wow.
great picture last month, featured artist, where she's painting the crow.
Oh, yeah.
I can't. What was her name? Sorry.
Trisha Evenson.
Did you? Okay, it was the
Yeah.
Evensons that were here, and Trisha is painting a crow, and you saw her
Yes.
6-foot wall paintings
Yes,
and stuff,
yes.
and it was just such a cool shot where she's just finishing the crow and she's up on her tiptoes.
Yeah, during the slideshow,
I love it.
I thought she was actually in the painting during the slideshow.
Yeah, it
and
was
then
a-
I was like,
it was a
okay,
surreal
wait.
picture.
Yeah,
It was.
It
Yeah,
was.
yeah,
Yeah.
All right, keep going, Bob. We should have some music for him as he flips the photo.
I really like this one.
Oh, thank you.
Oh, bunnies.
Yep, this one is, I call it Fufu, and it's based on Little Bunny Fufu, the little nursery rhyme song, hopping through the forest, you know, and this is Fufu coming back for revenge, I guess. Because he got bopped on the head.
Once
he's
again, the
casting a-
shadow's awesome.
Yeah.
You know?
Oh,
The
thanks,
little
yeah.
bunny Fufu's casting a long, dark shadow.
That's right, that's right. Yes, that's what got me with this one. It's
That's
just
a fun
the,
painting.
Yeah.
the drama.
I captured a picture like that the other day, very close to it. We're trying to do a calendar. As it was suggested that we do a calendar of the big fat cat in the window. So I've been capturing all these shots of the cat one day, and I was doing like rapid fire as she was walking, and I caught one similar to that painting where she's coming around the tire of my car, and the sun's behind her, and the shadow that it's casting from her head
Yeah.
is Batman.
Oh, cool.
And I thought, oh, there's the October calendar shot. And the only thing that's in the photo is her front two legs and the shadow.
Oh, cool.
So it came out really cool. So
You'll
I did
have to
that
do one
too.
of those panoramas that they, you see those where they do a panorama and then it ends up catching them like super long. They end up looking
Yeah.
like
Yeah.
a train.
Those are fun.
She'd appreciate that, especially if it made her look skinnier.
Right?
Yeah. All right, Mr. Fufu. So here we have one. You said you don't paint all animals, and here's the proof.
That's right.
All right, all
This
right.
is actually Bloomsday. And since it's Bloomsday weekend, we just had to bring it over.
All right,
yeah,
nice,
so-
nice. It is Bloomsday weekend, isn't it?
It
Of course,
is.
no one's going to Spokane. We've got the big citywide yard sale, a big talent show from KCHW.
That's right.
Wow.
That's right.
All
Lots going on.
And lots going on. So, was this a shot that you took during Bloomsday, or one you saw?
Just
or-
one I saw, yeah, that I just wanted to recreate. Yeah, I was not at the front of that line. I'm always in the back, usually in the stroller section or something. So, yeah, I never get that view.
All right. I like all the heads. It's like a sea of people.
Yeah,
It's amazing.
Yeah, I got the bridge and some of the beach balls back there and the clothes hanging off the trees, and it was just a super colorful.
So I've never done a Bloomsday. Do they throw beach balls around?
They
Is that the
do,
deal?
yeah,
They do?
yeah.
Oh,
When they're
very
waiting in
cool.
line, everybody's throwing their beach balls, and then
Nice.
as they take off, everybody starts stripping their clothes off and throwing them up in the trees for donation. So it's super cool. Yeah, not all their clothes, just the ones that'll make them hot.
Just the extra ones.
Yes,
Because
yeah,
they line up in the
layers.
mornings, right?
Yes, yeah, it's
And-
cold in the morning, yeah, and
okay.
then when you get running, you're hot, so everybody just peels everything off as they take off, and
You definitely have some skills, Jackie. Do you give lessons and classes and that kind of stuff?
I taught one workshop when I had the gallery, and I've had some people inquire, and I haven't addressed that yet, and done another. I'd be open to that. If I had enough interest, it's just having the space to do it and coordinating everything.
Well,
But
hopefully
I
that might be
just,
coming, or
yeah,
something
yeah. Are
similar
you
to
gonna
that.
sign up?
Am I going to sign up?
Yeah.
I think you'd probably kick me out, and then I can't keep my mouth shut, so I'd probably be a distraction. Ask Gene, am I a distraction?
Yeah. But if he has enough wine, he would probably do some pretty good Picasso
It
stuff.
could be amazing. Yeah, I never
Abstract.
say there's never bad art out there.
I'm more of the put it in a cup and splash it kind of guy. Yeah.
And
Well,
people
look, I
buy that.
I know, I made art. Yay.
Yes. Sotheby's would sell that for $1 million, I betcha.
Gail Johannes had asked me about hosting a class like that at the gallery. I thought that could be interesting, like in between shows, like that weekend where it's cleared out, and then use the front exhibition space.
Right.
Nice.
Yeah,
4 or 5
I think-
people in their easels would
Yeah.
be kind of fun.
I think that's what we got, about 5 people, 6 people at the workshop I did there before, when it was the full space there. But
And then when I showed up with the paint by numbers thing, you told me to leave. All right. So will you do all the businesses tonight that are hosting art one more time?
Okay.
In case people
Hello
just joined.
Gorgeous on West Main. It's just a little bit past Quartzite Brewing. And on Main Street, everybody's on Main Street, we've got Gene Beans, Gather, Wildflower, Fired Up Pizza, and Chuvino. And then I'm the outlier there on 395.
All right. And we're going to have awesome weather tonight. What a great night to walk the streets.
Perfect.
70 degrees today. Yeah, going to be very,
And-
very
and the
nice. No
last-
excuse not to get out.
The last open we had, the one in March, that was
Really fun.
the biggest it's ever been. I think we had 100 people
Wow.
come through the gallery. That's the most people I've ever had.
Oh, yeah, it was packed in
And-
there. I
and it
remember
was-
at one point thinking, okay, I'm just going to go now, because it was like squeezing through bodies.
And nobody wanted to leave.
But it was really fun. And what I like about it is usually most of the artists that are showing in the gallery in the permanent part, they all show up too. So I think it's really fun for the public, to have that interaction with the artists. And it's really smart on their part anyway to help promote themselves. That's what you have to do.
There you go.
So.
All right, if you missed part of our broadcast this morning, or you were listening and you go, hey, I really want to see her art, I'm not going to be able to do the art show tonight, something like that, just realize this video will be one of the newest on our KCHW YouTube page, and you can check that out for yourself as well. Of course, we want you on the streets tonight. Jackie, if someone would like to get in touch with you about your art or something, do you feel comfortable giving out some way to contact you?
well, you can. My website is www.jacquelinebrewer.com.
All right.
And,
Spell Jacqueline for us.
JACQUELINE.
All right. That's easy for you.
Yeah.
All right, all
Of
right.
course, the gallery, and then I'm got all the social media accounts. So just look me up, Jacqueline Brewer in Chihuahua.
All right, not too hard, right?
Yeah, yeah.
All right, thank you so much for coming in. It was a pleasure,
Thank you.
and I knew that guy that you're attached to, but it was wonderful being able to spend time and have you in our studio. Thank you so much.
Thank you so
and
much.
good
I appreciate
luck
it.
at your show tonight. I'm sure you're going to sell some art because you got some beautiful stuff.
We've sold one already, so we're off to a good start.
Off to a good start. All right. Now, when someone buys the art, you say you have to leave it here till the end of the show, though, right? You don't want them to knock off with it.
You don't have to. You would like it if they would do that, or But if they're out of town and they want to take it, I encourage them to take it. It just we'll just replace
Always
it.
make another.
Yeah.
All right.
Next painting up.
And then I'd like to wrap it up because we might not get another chance for me and Gene too. Is speaking of the arts, you can see a lot of talented artists this Saturday night at the Chihuahua Center for the Arts. It's our big KCHW. Chihuahua's Got Talent 5. We've got cellists, we've got bands, we've got singer-songwriters. It's going to be a great show. We have dancers of a sort, and Bradley's Taekwondo. Of course, it is on May the 4th. May the 4th be with you. The Star Wars holiday, Bradley's Taekwondo will be doing a special themed presentation. So just imagine the center all dark and lots of lightsabers. That's all I got to say. All right.
Nice.
Cool.
And you'll be able to tell where the Chihuahua Center for the Arts is because there will be 2 stormtroopers in front of the door waiting for you. All right. And no droids, so you won't be able to get in, Tim. All right. Once again, Jacqueline Brewer, thank you very much. Thank you, Mr. Tim Nelson.
Thank you.
Thank you.
It's KCHW 102.7. Back into the music. It's Adina Menzel and Queen of Swords. Me and Gene will be back. Maybe a couple community events for you, so stick around. It's Northern Lights Public Radio.
You mistake my passion for anger. Should I sit polite in the silence? So quick and pointing the finger. I got sick of taking the blame. There's a price to pay for your acceptance, a sacrifice for your judgment.